Welcome to Flesh and Pod, a flesh and blood podcast, breaking down weekly news and notes from the tournament scene, community drama, game strategy, and more. And now, here are your hosts, Darick and Logan.
Hello, and welcome to episode 190 of Flesh and Pod. My name is Logan. I am your host. Please like and subscribe on YouTube.
Did you finally, after, I don't know, episode 50 something, I remember I said, hey, you should check out like ASMR or whatever. And you were like, look into that, or I'll get to it or whatever. And then you never did. So like, did you finally? Is that why that intro is the way it is?
I sure didn't.
You just sounded like an easy listening.
I was trying to channel some yacht rock vibes. That's all I was trying to do. And
yeah, well,
I thought I got there. It sounded good. It sounded like something. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, that's a better way to put it. It sounded like something.
Sure, sounds great.
Yeah.
And with me as always. And with me as always is Darick Oswald. Darick, how are you doing?
I'm all right.
Good.
I just, I don't know. I feel very overwhelmed at the moment because I have a lot of things that I have to get done in like 3 days, but
I just got smashed by like bricks of FOMO in the last 10 minutes because Elaine's sitting here texting me or like sending message to Az and her in my Discord chat about how how Swarty snuck up on her at the beach party and said, "Are you the Elaine Hammondtree from On the Topic Of?" And how she made Josh Scott's chocolate list, and she sent me the fucking picture of the Hokey Pokey Crunch bar, and I'm just like, those are the things that I miss the most when I don't go to those big events. And I have to remind myself that Philly's not that far away as far as time goes, and I will get to see all the crew in short order, but man, is it hard not to want to be there when that kind of shit's happening, and making those memories is just so good. But yeah, Pro Tour Singapore happened. I did watch quite a bit of it because I was sitting, trying to in between things, and it was raining to beat hell. So there wasn't a whole lot to go out and do. Until today, where I went and played golf after it rained 3 inches, and it was basically like playing in marshland. Never.
It's like that much, right?
You are definitely a white man. God damn it! Not again. I don't need that twice.
Yeah, it derailed him. For those who are watching on YouTube, you saw the joke. If you're listening, I held up fingers that were clearly not 3 inches. But he said this to me before we started recording, and I did the same thing to him, and it completely derailed him. He lost it. So
yep. I just could not keep going in the whatever the tack we were on. I don't even remember what we were fucking talking about, but it was so funny that I just kind of broke. But yeah, Pro Tour Singapore happened. We'll get. This is going to be a lot to talk about. Like I said, I watched a lot of it, and there was a lot of matches that were just sort of wildly, what the hell is going on here? The quarterfinal match with Syndra versus Verdance was so weird, and I didn't. There was times where fealty weren't getting cracked when they should have, although there was enough fealty to cover it. It really didn't matter, but like they just still need to represent. And there was a judge call in there when there was a activation of Dragon Scale Jordans, and thought that could activate one dagger to attack with it again, and you can't. That's not how it works. And then on down the line of different things that were weird. And at the end of the game, there was a spot where Verdance is at 1. There's an attack. There's Flick Knives available. Verdance needs Verdance can Syndra's at 9. Verdance can deal 10. But there is a Claw of Vinserakai, and we are in a spot where the Syndra player can sack Claw for Spell Void 1 and then regrow Claw with the Syndra ability to sack again for another Spell Void 1 to go to 1 and then flick the other dagger to kill off the Verdance, doesn't see the line and flicks the Claw of Vinserakai instead and dies. And so that was wild to watch that happen. There was the Slippy Mirror. If you haven't watched the Slippy Mirror, there is some next level shit throughout that entire game that is so crazy. Like there's once where I believe it was Tom Escoffier attacks with a bluffed Bonds of Agony, straight stone cold bluff, and Jimmy Wynn just goes, ship it, just call, and Escoffier is just like, yeah, okay, take one. And so then Jimmy turns around and does the same thing and gets 3 cards out of Tom. And Jimmy didn't have it. And it was just like, oh, woof. And then Tom was able to pivot back with with being able to go over a double trouble, I believe it was, with a Justinic and then a Razor's Edge on top of it to clear off the two attack reactions that Jimmy was banking on being good enough, and then peeling a card out of their hand. Like it was so just like masterclass level setups, and I was just I was so enthralled watching that matchup. I thought it was excellent. But congratulations to Shirui Wu. God, that I don't know why I'm having a hard time with that one today. Who won on Gravy Bones. Top 8 was Tom Escoffier on Slippy, Nathaniel Gerald Bea on Syndra, Michael Hamilton on Gravy Bones, Enki Dupaquier on Gravy Bones, Arthur Trahe on Gravy Bones, Edison Yu on Verdance, and Jimmy Wynn on Syndra. So if you're listening at home or watching, you just counted and you noticed that there were 4 Gravy Bones in the top 8 and 2 Slippy and a Verdance and a Syndra. And that may seem like, oh shit, that's a Gravy Bones problem, but we're not done yet. I would like that. It was really awkward because watching through the top 8, you get 3 Gravy Bones mirrors and a Slippy mirror, which, you know, that's just how it shook out. But you also have to factor in, you know, and this is always the caveat with Pro Tours, there's draft involved as well. So that's not all like CC records are not necessarily the end all be all when it comes to this stuff, because draft is part of it. And that's not, and you don't have to go any further than looking at the Calling Singapore results, which doesn't have draft. It's just classic constructed. And that was won by Shoma Yamamura on Kadachi Ira. And when I say Kadachi Ira, I mean Flick Knives, you know, Kadachi Ira. Like really nothing out of the Ira Armory deck outside of there was one thing that stuck out. I just need to look at it again. But they put all the results up now. Well, son of a whore. That makes it a little harder to dig. I believe it was because this was some Tigers, and they had that's right. They had 0 cards out of the Ira deck. Not one. It was Bittering Thorns, Red, Sensors, CNCs, Cut-Throughs, and Lightning Strikes, Raise Face. I mean, it was just the Nats qualifiers that were going at the same time as basically what they were running. Like it just doesn't have anything else in it. And that top 8 was Acilio, Fang, Florian, 2 Slippies, Ira, Jarl, and 1 Gravy. This is why I don't think there's a Gravy Bones problem, because it's not like there weren't a ton of Gravy Bones in the calling. There were. It's just when you have solely CC games, it isn't quite as dominant as when you're talking about large quantities of players that are playing a pro tour that are also going to be good drafters playing the same deck. And I thought it was really interesting. So Edison, Yu, and Jimmy Wynn, it was both their first pro tour top 8, and both kind of got in on just hammering away at draft. Because I think both were X1 in draft, which is really good. And watch the interviews with those two before their match, because it's actually really enlightening about how important draft is at pro tours, because it matters a ton.
Yeah. I mean, you can go from literally like top of the field to just like fighting to make the bubble with one bad draft. I think people really underestimate, because Flesh and Blood is such a tight competitive game. You know, every win-loss matters. And, you know, even if you start, you know, I'm just throwing out numbers, right? But like whether it's like 5, 6, or 7 rounds before you go to the draft, right? If you start 5-0 or 7-0 even if you start 7-0, if you 0-3 your draft, now you're basically on the bubble, right? It is a big deal.
Yeah, and if you look at, like, Yuki was 8-0 day 1, and then went 3-4 day 2.
Exactly.
I mean, it happens. And I don't think that we have a Gravy Bones problem yet. I still am in that spot. They were fighting really well on Syndra's. The lists are, they look targeted to me slightly with a couple of different card choices. And just gunning for max consistency while sacrificing a little bit. They're not, they're not playing Give No Quarters anymore. Most of them have shaved down the number of whalers, because, not worried about the Guardian matchup so much and being able to just one whaler take over a game. Like a lot of that stuff has evened out. And so I think that these were very tuned for the specific event. That would explain, with it being Slippy was the most represented deck. And so the fact that, Gravy Bones was number 2, and I think a lot of that was to target the Slippies as well, because that is a rough matchup for Slippy in most cases.
Right.
So yeah, I think that Gravy Bones is still fine. I think the calling results bear that out better than the Pro Tour results do. But yeah, I think it's fine, personally.
I think that one of the things that is very frequently lost in the conversation, whether I'm seeing the conversations on social media or on, Reddit threads or whatever, folks seem, because I saw one today, right, where it was complaints about how maybe the new LL system is actually a problem, because look at all these gravies, and they would be, a quarter of the way through. And then somebody pointed out, well, Syndra also would have been before she died down, right? Like she started hot and died down, and maybe Gravy will also die down. And there's all this discourse about, okay, well, if they're going to keep the LL and they're not going to just let this run its course, well, then they have to aggressively ban stuff. But
do they?
But here's the thing. I don't think that that's the case for a couple of reasons. One, I don't think that 4 of 1 hero showing up in the top 8 of a Pro Tour is a concerning thing if it's a single event. And I would point to, it wasn't that long ago where we saw a high profile event that had 4 Florians in the top 8, right? And where's Florian now? It's just one of those things where I think people have to trust in the law of large numbers and not look at these like little spikes, because when you look at the recent Nationals season, there was an incredible amount of diversity. And I think even if you say, okay, well, there's a lot of gravy representation and a lot of players are playing it, and that is very true. You're right. Absolutely. There's a lot of gravies in the field. But this is the thing that I think is lost the most in that discourse. When the game released, we had a book that referenced necromancers, and then we got nothing for 5 years. In any sort of fantasy genre archetype, whatever, necromancers are always extremely popular. They are a popular build in Dungeons and Dragons. They are a popular class when you play Diablo. There are numerous examples of, hey, if you have options like to either play a necromancer or be one or whatever, like people will gravitate toward it because it's just fun, right? So we got teased, we got dangled this for a long time. Also, I think people are forgetting that even if you don't care about necromancers, a lot of people also really wanted pirates, right? I think of DM Armada, who, since he got into the game, was screaming for pirates. And there's
Steven wanted pirates the whole time.
There's a lot of other people that wanted pirates too. And yes, there are other pirates, but I think that it's very safe to say that of the 3 that came on High Seas, Gravy is currently the best positioned to be competitive. So if you're somebody who wants to play and be somewhat competitive, but also play something that you're excited about, Gravy checks a lot of boxes. It is a pirate. It is a necromancer. It's new, so it's fun. It's competitive. It's also board-based. Historically, in Flesh and Blood, all of your board-based classes have been popular. Now, you could also make the argument maybe they are overtuned because of the way that they, break the fundamental back and forth that the game is kind of designed around. But whether or not that's the case, board-based classes are not going away. They are also, again, just something that people gravitate to, because if you're coming, say, from Magic the Gathering or some other, Star Wars Unlimited, Star Wars, the old Decipher game, even the Lord of the Rings Decipher game, they're all board-based, right? You put stuff on the board and then you make them stronger. That is an appealing play pattern. In fact, a lot of people, when they come to Flesh and Blood, actually dislike the degenerative play pattern. They're used to getting stronger as the game goes. I like the degenerative play pattern, but again, when you think about all of this stuff from a psychological standpoint, yes, Gravy is competitive, but the representation of Gravy being as prevalent in the pool of players when you go to an event, I think has a lot more to do with the attractiveness of the classes, pirate, necromancer, etc. The motif. I think it's a lot more, because we're not talking about an Aurora situation here, right? Aurora definitely did the speedrun thing, but also, let's be honest, there's a lot of people who liked Aurora because they liked Aurora, and there was a lot of people that were playing it just because they felt like it was the best deck.
Right.
I do not personally think that there is nearly as many Gravy players that are playing it because they think it's the best deck, as opposed to the people who have been excited for one of these many things that I've listed off, if not multiples, right? If you're somebody who loves necromancers and you love pirates and you love board-based, then again, you're playing it. There's also, again, refugees from other classes, right? If you're somebody who you really liked playing Big Dragon Dromai because, again, you liked the board-based stuff, right now, Gravy is the next closest thing in the meta. Yes, correct. There's a Prism, but the angels don't play the same way, whereas these allies are more like the way the big dragons were in Big Dragon Dromai. So I don't think there's a Gravy problem because, yes, it won this event, but it's not like it won a blistering amount of events during Nationals season. And I still think that the deck is beatable. I think that this is just again, that situation where people just want to play the hero. So, who knows? Now, if there is more support coming, you know, whether it's from the Guardian set or Super Slam or whatever in the next few bit, and maybe that pushes Gravy over, then yeah, I reserve the right to change my mind. But like right now, I just don't see anything in the Gravy kit that like screams it's 100% a problem. No.
And it's all beatable. It's all workable. Yeah. I mean, I feel like we're also kind of still in the infancy of the hero, right?
Yeah.
Like we're not there yet. For God's
I also
sakes.
think that we could see more things printed to help target it as well, which will bring me back to what I posted on BlueSky earlier, which is the only thing keeping me from playing Arachne Huntsman in the current meta is I need an item. It needs to be like a legendary item, like what Bolton got, where you just play it to the board and then it hangs out and it does its thing. But it just says your contracts that trigger when hitting an opponent also trigger on allies. Now, if just hitting them is too powerful, if you want to say it has to defeat an ally, that's fine. Maybe you have to dagger something and then go big, whatever. But let me trigger my contracts on allies, and suddenly Huntsman's very playable in the meta. So make that happen.
True. Yeah. Then we had a living legend battle hardened. I'm going to say words.
Okay.
And I want you to hear them and understand. This was won by Naib Mobasir on Naib on Zephyr Needle Ira.
Yep, that tracks.
The top 8 was Dash.io, New, Zen, Dromai, Ira.
Yep.
2 Briars, and an Icelander. There was 1 Starvo in 9th. That was the closest Starvo. The closest Chain was in 20th. And the closest Viserai was in 35th.
Okay.
I think LL's back, baby.
Okay.
This is pretty cool. I was looking at the Briar lists, and they're up to some shit. So a couple of things. Everbloom Life is obviously a massive ad. Like, that is just another absolutely perfect tool in the kit for Briar. It's a blue earth block 3 non-attack action with go again. Like, and also brings things back that you need to keep the foot on the gas. Like, checks all the boxes. And both lists were doing that. No matter what. The GTIM Lee's list does have the Ball Lightning, Blossoming Spellblade, Burn Up Shock shit going on with Eclectic Magnetism, which Eclectic Magnetism is gas there. Also, very important is that both versions were playing the Skyward Serenade Skysix package, because why wouldn't you? And the David Lee deck was just more traditional. Here are 0 for 4s. I've got blues. Send it upstairs. So that's Rabble, Scar for a Scars, playing Nimby to go get your Nimblisms. So you can chain end with it if you really wanted to, or you can have an embodiment that gives it go again to go get to go get a Nimbilism. I don't love it, but I get it. And so this one was more the traditional Anthem of Springs, Earthlore Surges, Everbloom Lives, Force of Natures, Regrowth Shocks, and Tomes. Both were playing Channel Mount Heroic, because why wouldn't you? This one's just a little bit more lightning based ish. Both of them cut Bramble Spark entirely. It's just gone. Neither are playing Arcanic Shockwave. We're just no nonsense up fucking stairs. Go get him, Ray Briar. And yeah, okay. And obviously you get to play Plunder Run. So sure.
Right.
I mean, why wouldn't you? So I was very excited to see Briar doing well in LL, because that is my LL deck right now, is playing Briar in this feeds me a couple of ideas here and there. Naib's Ira list is just fuck off scary because obviously, you get Zephyr Needle that deck. And then because we're playing LL, you have Belittle Minnowism. God damn it. Just shit.
Right.
So it absolutely makes sense. Deck is, I'm looking at, there's like 2-ofs and 1-ofs, and it just looks super tuned. We're playing a 1-of E-Strike. Weird. But once you start kind of thinking through it, you're like, yeah, E-Strike's kind of not the point of the deck. Like the point of the deck is...
It's also one of those things where you never want to draw more than one.
Right. Yep.
So if you're going to run it and you're trying to fit other stuff in, then just run the one and you never have to worry about that being an issue.
And then this one was Naib was playing one card from the Ira deck, from the Ira Armory deck, and it was Robe of Autumn's Fall because it's Arcane Barrier 1. Mm-hmm. That's it. It's Null Rune Robe.
Right.
In this
it just
case,
replaces the robe. Yeah.
It just looks better.
Yeah.
It has no function whatsoever in the deck outside of being AB1 because there's no Edge of Autumn to turn it on. So, okay. All in all, I'm just like, damn, this shit is cute and can do a lot of really weird stuff. So Naib, if you're listening, you're not listening. You have better taste than that, but I approve. Well done. Anything else you want to talk about in Singapore when it comes to the games themselves?
No, I don't think so. I mean, like always, the gameplay's entertaining. Flesh and Blood's, I still think it's in a good spot. Yes, there's a lot of gravies, but they're also, I think, interesting matches to watch people navigate. Sorry, my brain was going way faster than my mouth there. So I also think, as weird as it sounds, like this event was kind of, it lacked any of the like big controversial moments. I was actually thinking about that recently. It's been a bit since we've had like a big one, but even still, it feels like there's usually about one per event where people look and they say like, hey, what happened there? And this one kind of really didn't.
No, there were obviously some just talk online, shade being thrown as per normal, but nothing that was dominating conversation.
Right.
So I'd agree. There was just good, clean fun was had by most until the pool party. And then apparently, people just got hammered because why wouldn't you? Next thing we're going to talk about is the keynote speech. Now, the keynote speeches at large events typically just are brimming with information. And yeah, same shit here. James White came in and gave us all kinds of info. The first thing is that the next Pro Tour is in Yokohama. So going back to Japan, April 9th through 12th. You do got qualifiers starting in October and running into early November. So early October to early November. It looks like a 5-weeker, 5 or 6 weeker. And yeah, it's they're still on the same cycle, it seems like, which would mean that we have Pro Tour in Asia, so Pro Tour Yokohama, Pro Tour in the US, so wherever they're going to put that, and then Worlds will be in Europe, is most likely how that will end up going. My guess is in Germany, but we will wait and find out on that. I hope so. The promos are pretty fucking good for the ProQuest. I know that there's been a lot of talk about ProQuest prizes over the course of the last year or so, where it's, rainbow foil heroes and things that people just didn't care about and stuff like that. So they just went and decided to not fuck around this time. So your promos are rainbow foil swing big in extended art, new art, and cold foil extended art overcrowded, which is a card from Super Slam. And overcrowded's kind of bonkers in a lot of ways. So it is a 0 cost generic block 2 with ambush, so it can block from Arsenal. That when this attacks or defends, it gets +1 attack, +1 defense for each different name among aura tokens in the arena. So those are Rune Chants, those are Spectral Shields, those are Bloodrot Pox, Inertia, Seismic Surge, Frailty, Ponder. There are a lot of gold, silver, copper. There are a fuck ton of tokens that exist. And so this thing could be a major problem in some matchups. Quicken token. Forgot about Quicken. The embodiment of Earth, embodiment of Lightning. I guess it's auras. So gold, silver, copper don't work. But there are still a lot. How pushed is this?
I don't know.
I don't think anybody does.
I think that's the hardest part, right? Because I think like all things, you immediately think of what is the ceiling. What is the busted thing that I can do with this? What is going to be the flashy play where it's just like, okay, this is completely
0 for 7.
Yeah, completely and utterly busted. It could be like the 0 for 7 thing, or I think for me though, it's just I don't know how many aura tokens are going to be around, right? Like
I feel like this is an assassin card because they are making aura tokens. Because I believe all of the Poxes are auras. As is Ponder, as is and so they have the ability to.
So Ponder definitely is.
I thought they all were.
Let's just look at February. Let's do it live.
I love doing it live.
Yeah, so Blood Rot, Frailty. Okay, so yeah. So those ones are, but the thing is like Frailty and Blood Rot, you are.
So let's just go through them real quick. I got them all pulled up. Agility, Blood Rot, Confidence, Courage, Eloquence, Embodiments, Fealty, Frailty, Frostbite, Inertia, Might, Ponder, Quicken, Rune Chant, Seismic Surge, Spectral Shield, Spellbane, Aegis, Toughness, Vigor, Zen State, Soul Shackle.
Right. So what I was getting at, or what I was starting to get at, so this is why I'm not necessarily convinced it's an assassin card. I think it's a guardian card, probably, if I'm being honest. But I'll get to that in a minute. So my big thing here may be a brute card, but the one attack obviously hurts it. But I guess I'll get to that too. So let's talk about the assassin thing, right? More often than not, when this is what I was getting at, is like, yeah, if you've got the Frailty or the Blood Rot and you got your Ponder, like you do the standard I do a Codex thing.
Mm-hmm.
Then this is still on offense just a 0 for 3 and on defense a 0 for 4, right? Like, so if you're running codexes, let's say you're running 6 codexes, you're doing the Blood Rot plus the Frailty thing,
and
right?
Yeah, okay.
So you're running 6 codexes. You're now playing like a sink below that's conditional but pitches as a blue.
Now, but that's the thing, is that you're playing other things that give the other token types as well. It's not like you're just playing.
Not a lot of.
I mean, Infect gets played in those lists. That gives blood rot. And in Slippy it has go again.
Sure, but
you have the spikes. You have, those get played. Spike with blood rot gets played.
Sometimes, like, maybe they get played more, but again, like, my whole thing though is is if you're playing those, but you're not doing it off of the codex, then all you're doing is now making this like a blue block 3, right? Like a single aura isn't enough. And if I'm being honest, I don't think that even 2 auras, unless you can do 2 auras consistently, right? If you can get 2 auras consistently, then this might become worth it, right?
Sure.
I don't think that's an assassin. So the reason that I suspect that this is a guardian card is seismic surges are something that you can create en masse a number of ways.
But this is for each name, not for each aura.
Oh, different name among auras. I thought it was for each different aura token. Well,
no.
Well, okay. I guess the plus side in a guardian is that you're likely always going to have access to one if you're playing tectonic plating. So I guess we'll have to wait and see if our new guardian bard wants to play tectonic in the chest slot or not, because we know that she's got the different auras that will have the
confidence
suspense
tokens,
mechanics plus the confidence tokens. So maybe it's something that she wants to play. The only other reason I was saying maybe brute was because of like agility and might and things like that. And then we also with the reviled ones or whatever
can make vigor as well. Yeah.
Well, there's vigor, but isn't there also like endurance or whatever?
There's toughness.
Toughness. That's the one I was thinking of. Yeah. So maybe there. I just it's even more so now that I'm realizing that it's different name. I thought it was.
And it's aura tokens, not auras.
Right. I know it's not auras, or else then we'd have a real big problem. So
yeah.
I just don't. How often are you going to consistently have 2 different aura tokens, like consistently? Now, maybe in Living Legend, right? Living Legend, I'll go the other direction. Like Living Legend, if you're not running a red line Briar, this actually could be pretty fun in Briar because you can have access to embodiments of lightning, embodiments of earth, rune chants.
There's so
maybe
many
a ponder, right? Like you could maybe pull stuff off there once you get to like, I can also do my embodiments and things like that. But I just don't see multiples. Now, again, maybe this is much better if we see other stuff in the set that makes more than one type of token at a time.
Right. That would also be a thing, but we'll have to see. But I think that this is lined up to be really, really, really good when it comes down to it. Because a codex just makes this into a 0 for 3 on its own, right? Which is rate. It's not good, but for a blue, it's above rate. And I think that's fine, especially if you put this down there to block with as an extra blocking card, because it does have ambush. So I think there's a lot to be explored with this card. I'm not sure how insane it is. God, the new art on Swing Big, though. That's just incredible. Sorry. Got caught up.
No, you're fine.
Next, we did see a bunch of new cards from Super Slam. We do have the tokens. We now know what they do. So a confidence token is at the start of your turn. Destroy this when the next attack. Then the next attack card you play this turn can't be defended by more than 2 non-block cards. So a pseudo dominate, I guess, would be closer. Which is kind of fun because this also, so if you have a Sink Below an Arsenal, this isn't from hand. This is just period.
Right. So
it only is 1. You basically only get 2 cards regardless. So this could be fairly important. We'll see, especially for those bigger Guardian attacks with on hits. So that one could be important. And then toughness token is at the start of your opponent's turn. Destroy this, then the next action card you defend with this turn gets +1 defense this chain link. So blue block 3s become blue block 4s, for that chain link, and only one of them. So pretty good. Yeah. Overall, for the tokens. And then you have a couple of cards that were released. There was In the Palm of Your Hand, which is a Guardian instant aura, 2 cost, suspense. This enters arena with 2 suspense counters. Start of your turn, remove a suspense counter from it. When it has none, destroy it. When this enters or leaves the arena, draw a card. So that's pretty good. Outside interference might be just like the best concept of a card we've seen in this set so far.
Yeah.
Because, come on. This is a reviled brute attack action. It is 3 cost blue. Thank God they made it reviled. And it has an instant effect of discard this. Thank God they made it reviled. You may reveal a reviled attack action card from your inventory and put it into your hand. So it just go get the steel chair.
Yep.
That one's pretty good. And then the one that seems the most fucked, and this is in Armory deck Pleiades. It is Standing Ovation. So it's a blue block 3 6 cost. Revered Guardian attack, 8 power. If 3 or more auras of suspense have left the arena this turn, this gets, when this hits a hero, take an extra turn after this one. Remember, on hit, at the beginning of the next end phase, they draw up to their intellect. So they do end up getting cards back to block with. But you just basically have to take back-to-back turns. That's pretty strong.
Yeah.
Yeah. That one's real good. Especially since it looks like the Guardian thing is to crescendo. Also of note, again, in the palm of your hand is a Guardian instant aura with a block value. So an instant with a block value. That's different. It was also announced that Reviled will end up with Intimidate, which is pretty important overall. So that could fuck with things a little bit. We'll see. Also, pre-releases are changing to pre-release kits. So if you are familiar with Magic, they did this a long time ago, where instead of open a box, take packs out of box, of booster box, they send preloaded kits that will have all your promos and then your 8 packs and then usually some assorted tokens and stuff like that in them as well. And that will be how you do your pre-release. So it's it's a kit per player. And so any ancillary booster boxes beyond that would be for prizing or whatnot. This, honestly, of all the things that LSS could take from Magic, this one is super high on the list because it streamlines the process. It makes it so that, does somebody have a kit? Great.
Yeah.
Down the road, it also allows for customization. So you could have it where it's like, I don't want to play Reviled. Okay, here's the Revered kit. This has, the promo you have is guaranteed to be Revered instead of Reviled or whatever. And there's different equipment. As an example, you're opening that space up. So this is definitely, I think, a win in my mind, for these kits.
I was just going to say, I also enjoy that Star Wars Unlimited does the same thing for their pre-releases, right? They just have a kit. If you're not familiar with that game, it also does something really cool. In that game, when you play sealed, you open 6 packs, you build a deck, and you can build out of the leaders that you open. But because that game has a heroism and a villainy like aspect to it. If you happened to, I mean, it's incredibly rare for it to happen, but let's just say hypothetically, if all 6 of the leaders you opened were all heroism, then you wouldn't have a leader on the villainy side that you could play. So what the pre-release kit for every set does is it gives you the 6 packs. It also gives you all of these cardboard tokens you need to play the game. So even if you're brand new to the game, you can buy right in. But then it also comes with 2 leaders that are specific to each set for like the limited experience. And it's one of each side, right? So the most recent set, 1 leader was Qui-Gon and 1 leader was Darth Maul. And so you always have a leader from either side as an option. And again, it just makes everything clean. As you said, it's not like, oh, here's your packs, here's your whatever. It's literally just, here's a kit and you go. And I love it.
Yeah, it's so much easier. In these, you get 8 packs to build with, and then 1 of 4 different promos. So the promos for this one, you have, I had them up and now I lost them. So you have Spew Obscenities, which is potentially, if anybody has ever listened to this fucking show, my favorite of all of these. This one is a yellow cost, or is a yellow 0 cost, 3 block, 3 attack, reviled guardian action. If you control a confidence or might token, this gets +1 attack. When this hits a hero, create a confidence and a might token. So quite strong. And the flavor text on this one is gallbladder fucked privy with a blunt something. And the name of the person saying it is Fugger Grimes. So if anybody knows anything about sneaking in obscene language, Fugger is a easy way to just say fucker. Baleful Horde. So thumbs up on that one. The next one was old leather and vim, which is, you know, I guess fun to say. It's a revered brute action, 2 cost, 6 attack, 3 block, red. If they control a toughness or vigor token, this gets +1. When this hits, create a toughness and a vigor token. So same principle, just a 2, you know, a 2 attack, a 2 costs, a 2 for 6, block 3, red. Heard those are good. Next one is offensive behavior. This is the reviled brute version. It's a 0 for 2. Control a might or vigor. This gets +1. When this hits, create a might and vigor. Blue, block 3, which those are also good. And then uplifting performance is the one for Pleiades. Blue, block 3. 3 cost, 5 attack, gets up to 6 if you control a confidence or toughness. On hit, create a confidence and a toughness. So already off the bat, you're seeing ways to make a number of tokens. And then you also get cold foils of 4 pieces of equipment, of generic equipment. So everybody will be fully dressed at the pre-release is basically where we're going with this. Helm of Hindsight is a generic head, has instant 3 pitch, destroy this, put target attack action card from your graveyard on top of your deck. So similar to Plume of Evergrowth or whatever, the Earth hat.
Right. Yeah.
Yep. Garland of Spring is just Blossom of Spring, same thing. Action, destroy this, gain a resource, go again. Punching Gloves is an action for 2 to destroy this. The next attack action card, you play this turn, gets +2, go again. And then Toby Jugs is the feat, and I love the art on this because it's somebody literally upside down in a keg. When this defends, you may pay 1. If you do, it gets +2 defense this turn and has Blade Break. So very basic type stuff, but playable. I mean, that's the important part, is that they're playable.
Right.
Because it's basically, this is iron, not iron rot, Ironhide boots, Plume of Evergrowth, Blossom of Spring, and what's the hands that give +2 when you pop them?
Gauntlet of Might.
Gauntlet of Might, maybe it. because Goliath Gauntlet isn't. That's much bigger, and only costs one.
No, that's right. Goliath Gauntlet.
Is it Goliath Gauntlet?
Yeah, sorry. That's what I was thinking of when I said Gauntlet of Might, but Goliath Gauntlet, that's the +2.
Okay. But I think that one only costs one though, right?
Doesn't cost anything. It's just that it has to be on has to be on an attack that costs, like the cost of the attack has to be, I think, 2 or more.
2 or more. Yep. That's WTR shit. So yeah, we've gotten a little bit more of the picture. Also showed off that like the art style does change throughout the set. It's not all kind of that sort of Hearthstone-y style that the heroes showed. So there's a lot more depth to the art because a lot of people were turned off by just the look on some of the stuff. But I thought it was pretty good personally, but, again, Flesh and Blood has always had a wide range of art styles within the cards. So sure.
Right.
As far as cosplay goes, they're retiring the tailor.
That's right.
Yep. So tailors will no longer be available. And now we get Frankie Make Ends Meet, MEAT, a young necromancer, comes in Marvel, and we don't know what it does yet. But that will be your new cosplay award card. So the next necromancer we see is a cosplay award. I think that's nice. I think that Taylor needed retired. She's done a lot of heavy lifting for a long time. Or the dog. Yeah. I think Taylor's the corgi, right? So yeah, I think it was about time. I think it's a good decision. There's also the Content Creator Grant Program. I said this in our Discord. Charmer almost got kicked off of Reddit.
Yeah, some people were worried, I guess.
When you're talking about the strength of ceiling fans, people start to get upset. But the Content Creator Grant Program will reward 5 creators with a $5,000 USD grant. LSS will select creators to apply in August based on specific criteria. I think it's really good to do. I think rewarding content creators is great, and that's not just because I'm a content creator, because the odds of us being involved in this are almost zero. But yeah, I mean, I think it's a good thing.
I want to address, because I saw a lot of now granted, most people were ignoring these folks, but I did see a lot of, why are they doing this if they can't get product on the shelves?
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Let me explain why. Okay. Handing somebody cash is easier than shipping product around the globe, getting it to distributors, going through the printing company, making sure that stuff is through a pipeline, right? Like there's a whole distribution thing. The like $5,000 they're going to give a content creator isn't something that was going to make or break whether or not the set sold out. Okay.
Yes. That is correct.
All this is, and I commend them for it. All this is like every company, I'm sure LSS has a marketing budget, and they looked at where they wanted to do their expenditures, and they said, you know what, we could continue to, do maybe online advertising or do some targeted things in certain areas based on demographics, etc. But also, like, we recognize that for 5 years now, there's a bunch of people who've been supporting our game organically just because they love it. And so, hey, if we can take some of our marketing budget and give it to people who care about our product, who are passionate about it the same way that we as an employee of an LSS, organization is passionate, then like, hey, we can do that. Because like, I'll also be honest, it seems like a lot of money, and don't get me wrong, it is, but it's also not from a marketing standpoint. It's really not. And if you're trying to get people to support you for the long haul, right? Like if you give some content creators $5,000, like the likelihood that they're just going to not continue to cover your game and support it and do all of those things for you in the immediate future is so low, right? Like they're going to be more energized. They're going to be more creative. They're going to do more things. And so your return on investment is probably going to be really high. Like, This is why they're not just spending the $5,000 to put like, 2 extra boxes on a shelf somewhere. So.
Right. And, because there's a lot of things you can do. We've been asked to do a lot of different things before. And a lot of it is time, but a lot of it is also resources, and the show is solvent. It doesn't hemorrhage money or anything, but at the same time, it isn't.
It just hemorrhages time.
It fucking hemorrhages time. But at the same time, it doesn't really make money. It just, it does fine. It keeps itself afloat. That's really all it needs. Would we be able to take $5,000 and do something different and change something up? Absolutely. We could definitely do that. But again, and I think that is the same for most content creators. If it's, giving them a small cash infusion is probably just helpful, and that's really what they're trying to gun for here, is just trying to take some of these content creators that have been loyal, that have done, that are consistent, that are creative, to give them the ability to kind of level up and do the next thing, right? Or do be a little bit better about it so that the reach gets better, whatever it is. Next, Project Blue is becoming Silver Age, allegedly. So it really didn't have a whole lot on this. It said more on Project Blue in 2026. And then directly after, it said Silver Age 2026. So
yeah, I think a lot of people are misunderstanding this. I don't think it's going to be called Silver Age. I think that, listen, most often when you are talking about, like, let's say comics, for example, right? Your OG stuff is considered the golden age. And then there was like a second coming or a renaissance of it that was the Silver Age, and then so forth. I think that this is just them kind of saying like, hey, we're going to hit the Silver Age of Project Blue. Like, we're going to go back to the lab with everything that we learned, and we're going to come back, and this will be the second coming of Project Blue. That's the way that I looked at it.
I mean, not a whole lot to go on. Sure. Next one I want to talk about is, and this might get a little bit deeper, as they're doing convention exclusives of Reaping Blade, Spellbound Creepers, Luminaris, fuck that card, and Phantasmal Footsteps. They're Marvels. They're extended art. They look really cool. They're sold at conventions for a gobsmack amount of money, whatever that is. Okay. There was a lengthy discussion in our Discord about these and how they were, and one person deciding to pitch a tent on a hill, that these were half a step away from LSS doing secret layers. I don't see that at all. What I see is them going, oh, everybody else also does convention exclusives, and it does really well, and it brings eyes to the booth because, oh, those are pretty. What are those? And then we can sell them, for a sum of money that people will pay, will make money. And then also, and it's great advertising. Boom, we're done here. This isn't mail order. This isn't selling cards, that are, universes beyond IP crossovers. This isn't anything like that where they're opening an online store. These are specific things that are offered to convention goers. Fine. Okay. I have convention exclusive, all kinds of shit in this room from different IPs in different media. I have comic books, I have figures, I have cards. Kind of been boilerplate for decades at this point. And I was kind of surprised they haven't done it sooner, to be fair.
Yeah.
And these are reprints of existing cards. Like, this isn't Blaze or Batter to a Pulp, where they only had them available as promos that you had to get them by winning them, or in the case of Blaze, going to the convention. So yeah, I I don't see an issue with this at all. And they do look cool.
I don't have any problem with it because I don't know. I guess, you know, I talked about it a bit in our Discord, but I guess for me, one, I come from a lot of different games, not even just card games, just games. So I've just seen a bunch of different things in a bunch of different places, and I don't want Flesh and Blood to ever become what Magic is, where it's just all crossovers with other IPs. Okay, let me start by saying that. I do, however, think that it's entirely fine to just have fun within your own IP. Like the swimsuit hero stuff doesn't bother me. It's just, you know, the pool party skins from League of Legends or Legends of Runeterra. It's just fun. And I would love if we had stuff for other seasonal events pop up as well, right? Like we already have, now granted, they're just, you know, like UPF promos or whatever, but we already have a shitty Xmas present card and we've got things like that. So like give me trick-or-treating heroes or whatever, or trick-or-treating equipment. Like give me the assassin masks, but like as an alternate art reprint promo, even if it's just the common ones where it's like now a Halloween mask or something. Like who cares? Have fun with it. It's a game, and if it's not for you, then just don't play with those versions of the cards, but also like let people have fun with it. Like there's a reason that like altars exist and people do stuff they love with altars, and so all this is LSS just doing it officially. But again, I don't know. I guess I just don't take it seriously when I think about it from a game perspective. Now, I wouldn't want them to do like wacky stuff in an official lore book, or if they did, you know, novels or comics, or, you know, way down the road, a TV show or a movie or some other piece of media. Like, yeah, okay, I don't want that stuff. But for this, like, I don't care. And so for these convention cards, again, like plenty of other games I play have done it. You know, Star Wars Unlimited has done it 2 years now. Has not like ruined the gaming experience for that. I mean, it did, you know, frustrate me the 1 year at Gen Con because I really wanted to get it, and they had limited slots and it was like a lottery system.
Yeah, it sucked.
It sucked because I just, you know, I'm somebody who enjoys the game and I'm a collector and I wanted to get that stuff.
Same.
But at the end of the day, like, it also doesn't like hurt me that they exist out in the wild. Right. So,
yeah, same. Okay.
Also, we can't have our cake and eat it too, people. We can't be saying like we need reprints of staples and then go, wait, no, not like that.
Yeah.
Right? Like, oh no, now my first edition Monarch stuff is worthless. Well, guess what, buddy? I hate to break it to you. It already was. Yeah, and anyone who cares about the first edition stuff isn't going to care that some convention exclusive came later, right? Like the people who want the first edition stuff want it because they're a collector and they want to say, I have a first edition, right? It's the same reason people care about having, you know, alpha cards or beta cards or whatever. And if they are in that realm, then chances are they probably want both. They want the convention exclusive and the first edition because they're maybe a hardcore collector, or maybe they just really love Prism or whatever. So again, is it really going to like tank the desire for those other cards?
Yeah, and I just want the Creepers and the Reaping Blade for Rune Blade Cube. That's it. That's all.
So
it's pretty easy.
That's just me. I guess I just don't care. Maybe I should care more, but I just don't.
No, I really don't. Let's do some listener questions. That sounds like fun. The first one is from Delusian Data Analyst. What continent makes the best beer? It's tough. I want to say Europe, because Belgian beer is kind of just the nuts, and German beer isn't that far behind, and Czech Pilsners are amazing. So, and even like there are decent Italian beers. North America's in the running because there are some exceptional beers that are brewed in North America. One of my local breweries that my friend is the head of production at just won best brewery in the nation for the 5,000 to 15,000 barrel category. So I am surrounded by good breweries, because that's just one of many in Iowa that are exceptional because honestly, we don't have fucking anything else to do in this state outside of, brew beer and hope the weather doesn't take our houses away. That's about it. So yeah, it's really hard, but I would probably say Europe right now, but the US is, in the North America is getting better. What generic staples go in most decks? I didn't give Charmer a chance to answer the beer question because he'd have zero opinion.
When I was in Prague, Ian pointed me in the direction of a very nice Irish cider. So,
Magners.
Yeah, they win by default. That's my answer.
That's your points for him. What generic staples go in most decks? Sink Below is probably the Sink Below, Shelter from the Storm. E-Strike, CNC are usually the answers. E-Strike's a lot less played now. CNC is still heavily, still CNC.
And I'm honestly surprised E-Strike doesn't see more play because it answers a lot of the allies very well.
Mm-hmm. And that's, I think, coming to a theater near you more often than not soon. I've already put Enlightened Strikes into the Kasai sideboard for that reason. So yeah, there's a lot of mostly it's the D-Reacts are most of the generic staples that get played. And then there's a few select attacks. That has been cyclical. There was a time when Belittle and Minnowism might have been the most played generics. Plunder Run also in that category. So yeah, there's been times. And then obviously a lot of the 0-for-4s also see a lot of play. So your Snatches, your Scar for Scars, your Ravenous Rebels, stuff like that. So generally speaking, the things that are a bit above rate end up with the nod when it goes to staples. Thoughts on a monthly Talishar stream for subs? Back to time. There are definitely weeks where it's hard enough just doing this. And Charmer's got two other shows besides this one. I have another show besides this one. Plus we have day jobs. Charmer has a family. I have too many hobbies already. It's just difficult. That's not to say that we wouldn't do it. Because that's something that we could trade off and have other guests, that are there playing with us. It's not impossible. It's just going to take time for us to even think about setting it up. But yeah, not outside the realm of possibility. Man, $5,000 would go a long way towards that. Actually, money doesn't buy time. That doesn't fucking matter.
I mean, it can. You just need a lot of it.
He's a lot of it, but
you just need a lot of it. Time's just really expensive. But I mean, bird law.
I do love the one episode of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia where the bird law actually mattered, and then the stupid fucking lawyer gets his eyes pecked out. Because bird law. Next one's from One Hit Wookie. I know we haven't had Worlds 2025 yet. With Yokohama being the Oceania and Asian Pro Tour, the Americans will be getting a Pro Tour. Where do you think Worlds 2026 will be? I think it'll be in Europe. I'm thinking Munich, given this year's breakthrough for German prizing and going over the list of Tier 4 European event locations. Yeah, I think Germany makes a ton of sense. Munich, Berlin are definitely, on the list. Hamburg is getting a calling this year. In October, I believe. So, yeah, I mean, sure. Mm-hmm. I think that's definitely, I think it'll be Europe. And I think that we are probably starting to careen closer to having 3 Pro Tours a year soon. I don't think it's next year, but I wouldn't be surprised if we have 3 Pro Tours in 2027 plus Worlds. So that they can rotate, they can bring South America in as well, because South America scene is growing fucking rapidly. And if you've come from Magic or I believe One Piece as well, or a lot of other games, you know how absolutely frothing the South American community are for competitive games. Like, they just jump in and they start bashing. So I think 2027 we'll see 3 Pro Tours plus Worlds. I think in 2026, Germany makes a ton of sense as long as they can, make it happen. That's, always a thing. But I think Europe definitely will be the location of Worlds in 2026.
The only question I have, right? It's been so long since there's been the ability to run these kinds of events in Germany. Mm-hmm. That's not to say that they don't necessarily have the space, but when you're trying to scout things ahead of time, and if there's that uncertainty about whether or not you'll even be able to run events in Germany, I do wonder or question whether or not they could find a venue and so forth they would be comfortable with for something the level of Worlds. I think that we'll get at least another calling or something in Germany next year.
Sure.
But I do think that is maybe a factor. My dark horse, I also think it'll be Europe, but I think my dark horse would actually be Rome. They haven't done a big event in Rome. It's obviously got a big international hub. That time of the year won't be necessarily as hot. I could see them doing that.
Yeah, I could also see Greece, but
yeah, Greece is another one, but I just think of Rome obviously has a lot of venues that cater specifically for events like that as well. Yeah. So
it would also let me cross 2 countries off my list because I could then go to Vatican City.
You could cross 3 off because there's the mini country. It's just south of Venice. It's literally the oldest country functioning off of the same constitution, a small country in Italy, and it's not San Marino.
Oh, right. Yep. Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's not the Vatican.
3. Yeah, 3 would be sick. Last set of questions is from Jumbo Chihuahua. Thoughts on LL being showcased on at Worlds? I personally love it.
I love it. I say I know that my opinion is an incredibly unpopular opinion, but I think every format should be featured.
I agree. Yeah, we are lockstep in that. I think it should be. You cannot have Commoner, and that's okay. But I need it to be CC, Blitz, LL, Limited.
Yep.
And then you can have CC for your knockout rounds. That's fine. But I think every competitive format should be showcased at Worlds. That's my thought.
Yeah, if you want to be the best in the world, then you should play the formats of the game.
Yep. And LL, I think, judging from what it looked like in Singapore, it capped at 128 players and sold out. And so people that were in day 2 of the Pro Tour couldn't get into the Battle Hardened. And then, we went over the results. 7 different heroes, and the repeat was Briar. Not any of the boogeymen of the past. It was Briar. Mm-hmm. So I think LL's actually starting to shake out to be in a good spot, barring any mistakes in Super Slam. So got to kind of be careful there. Thoughts on the new Silver Age? Probably just Project Blue for adult heroes. That's possible. But do we need another format? Commoner was finally starting to get love and recognition with gold foil events and bannings just to be buried back to the bottom for Project Blue. Do we have too many formats? I like Classic Constructed, the best meta to date. It's crafted with and banned with precision. The others feel forgotten and half-assed. Turn these old man ramblings into podcast art. Okay. So I feel like Commoner has been in a weird spot, largely because it's not subject to Living Legend. If Commoner was subject to Living Legend, Iroh would have been gone forever ago. Because Iroh was winning everything, and then Shane was winning everything, and then they've had to aggressively ban to make the format playable. But a lot of people still complain about Commoner being still wildly out of balance at times, because it's hard to be surgical with bans when it comes to common cards. They've made a lot of changes. I think with Project Blue opening up the book a bit, it gives some of these like underappreciated heroes access to much better things.
Yeah, I would even go a step further. I think one of the biggest issues with just Commoner as a format is that there are very few things when you look at true common slots that like break rate. And so it only takes like 1 or 2 cards for that just to be the best deck in Commoner, because everything is just so at parity. And the moment that you go to like a Project Blue, the moment you just introduce even just a little bit more rarity to it, a lot of especially the newer heroes, right? When you think about everything post Fab 2.0, a lot of those heroes were designed with the limited experience in mind. And so a lot of those rares that were designed to, show up in limited or whatever, make a big difference in class identity and separation and doing some of those things. So I know that Commoner was finally getting some love, but part of the reason I think it was getting love was because there was no other option. I think Project Blue is just the future, personally.
Yeah. As far as Silver Age being Project Blue for adult heroes, maybe. I still hold out hope that this is just a deke. And what it really is we're getting formats based on eras of Flesh and Blood, because I've been begging for what would end up being block constructed, quote unquote. But so you'd have from WTR through Everfest as a format, and then you'd have Uprising through probably God, what would it probably go through? It probably stops short of Mistvale. So heavy hitters?
Yeah, probably.
Would end up being a format, and then you'd have Mistvale on as of right now as a format. I'm still in favor of that. I loved the puzzles that came with formats with limited pools in them, and limited hero choices, but I don't think it's any of that, mainly because the Project Blue the Silver Age artwork was young Icelander from Everfest. So, okay. Because if it was an adult format, it would have had Icelander Stormbind from Uprising. But who knows? They make weird decisions all the time. I hope that was close enough to being podcast art. I don't know what the fuck podcast art is. Like, do you know what podcast art is?
I know what it isn't.
Is it like pornography? You know it when you see it?
Yeah, and this isn't it.
This ain't it.
This ain't it.
Mm-mm. No, absolutely not. This is just, I think this is more old man ramblings on top of your old man ramblings. We're making a pile of old man ramblings. That's not helpful. Maybe it is. I don't know. I just work here, man.
I don't know, man. I just work here.
Game over, man.
They're in the walls, man.
Exactly.
I'm unironically excited for Alien Earth.
I'm unironically excited for Fantastic Four.
Well, yeah, I mean, that goes without saying.
I'm a giant Galactus mark. I mean...
So a normal-sized Galactus mark.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm just hoping that they make him big enough. Because...
Like this?
Yeah, well, a little bit bigger than that. But... Why is that joke so good? God damn it! So mad about that. I'm not a huge Fantastic Four fan by any stretch of imagination, but I've always enjoyed the Galactus like lore. Like I have a copy somewhere around here of Galactus's origin story from like the 70s, because It was they did a series of like supervillain origins back in the 70s. There's not a lot of issues, but I think the first one might have been Galactus. Hold on, it's over here somewhere. I know it is. Fuck me. Yeah, it's the so Galactus, the origins,
Yeah.
Like, and they were called Supervillain Classics. That's right. But yeah, Galactus is just, to me, a super interesting, story. And I like villains that aren't villainous. Like, he's not a villain. He's hungry. Boy got to eat. He made it through the Big Bang or whatever. And that's not his fault. And he gives his heralds power and shit. He makes them super cool.
I mean, he could just not eat though. He was benevolent. Maybe he would just be maybe a hunger strike is what the universe needs, but no.
No.
He's Ryback. Every time the universe posts anything, he's in the comments going, "Still hungry, feed me." Because he wants to be rehired.
I fucking hate Ryback. Seriously. Dear God. Anyway. I'm super excited for Fantastic Four. I'm going to see it on Thursday. And I really hope that it is everything I want. I love the cast. I just think it's a complete, home run when it comes to that.
I do love somebody had posted a video. They were like, "Hey, I'm at the movie theater. So do you want to see the Pedro Pascal movie?" And then they show
Eddington or whatever.
Eddington, yeah. And they're like, "Or do you want to see the Pedro Pascal movie?" And they showed, it wasn't Fantastic Four. That's the third time he says it. Materialists? Yeah, Materialists.
Yeah, Materialists, yeah. Listen.
Yeah. Just does it 3 or 4 times in a row, and it's just him. I mean, guy's just on a...
He's on a heater.
He's on a Michael Jordan era run.
Yeah, he's on a heater. Sometimes guys are on a heater. Let him cook. And he's been great. He was the only good thing about Wonder Woman 1984. So, I mean, and not even Pedro Pascal could save that piece of shit.
I thought Kristen Wiig did fine.
She was out of her element. She did fine, but she was out of her element.
I mean, she was asked to do some very un-Kristen Wiig things.
Act?
I don't know if what was asked of her could be called acting. Yeah, I don't think that was the request at all. No. Actually.
No, it's pretty bad. So we're going to thank some patrons. The first are our associate producers is Aladoris. There's Andy. There's Anthony. There's Sindra. There's Ejor. There's Jacob. There's The Quiet Goat and Sofsky. Then we have our executive producers on up. We have Blaze Storm, Diana, the green cosplayer, John, Micaiah, Paxana, Saturnis, Bjorn, Vintox, the delusion data analyst, Philip, and then our Chamber of Charcoal participants. We have Brandon, Matt. You are more than welcome to come back on again. You've lapped the field. Michael, same story. You've also lapped the field at this point. Rich, you're almost lapped the field at this point. And our new entrant into the Chamber of Charcoal, Zaris. If you are interested in the Chamber of Charcoal, that means you have to come on the show and guest host. It's been pretty fun, actually. We've had 4 for 4 good guest hosts. But if you want to become a member of our Patreon, go to patreon.com/fleshandpod. Link is in the show notes. Some fucked up number of tiers. Pick one. Any paid tier gets you into After Dark. I'm going to try to put an After Dark together this week. It'll probably be Wednesday. It might just be me. I don't know.
I was going to say, if it's Wednesday of this week, yeah.
You fly out Thursday.
No, I fly out Wednesday night.
Oh, you fly out Wednesday night?
Yeah.
So you have to be doing it from the plane.
Right. I mean, I would have to do it from the plane.
That'd be pretty funny. So yeah, you can go to patreon.com/fleshandpod and the link is in the show notes. If you need to contact the show, you just send us an email at fleshandpod@gmail.com. You can find us on BlueSky. Just search fleshandpod. Biggest, most important thing you can do possible is just join our Discord. Link is in the show notes. It's free. It doesn't cost a dime to join the Discord. And there you can just enjoy yourself. Talk shit. Don't talk shit. Just read shit. Lurk as hard as you want. It's fine. Charmer, where can they find you?
Discord, BlueSky. This weekend, if you play multiple card games and you are attending the Star Wars Unlimited Galactic Championship in Vegas, I will be commentating that. So if you see me walking around, feel free to say hello. Unless I'm at a urinal, in which case...
you need to help him. He doesn't shake very well.
I shake just fine. It's just really hard to be agile with something that's...
Damn it! Got me again. Fuck.
Oh, I love you, Logan.
Love you
but
too,
yeah,
buddy.
say hello. If you are at the event and you see me walking around, say hello. That's all I got about that.
All right. Well, that's our show for this week. Next week, Charmer will be off on assignment, and so I will have not one but two special guest hosts. So tune in for something different next week, folks. And until then, see you later. Bye.